Hey everyone, welcome to the Ayelet Show. Today I'm going to cover 4 super powerful tips when it comes to giving an effective public speech. For many of us, public speaking can be incredibly nerve-wracking. I've seen people literally freeze, forget their lines, and foam at the mouth from fear of being in front of an audience. A majority of people actually say they'd rather die than give a public speech. Literally die versus doing this. I mean, this is super easy, it's super simple, and it can be super fun and exciting if you get your fear and doubt out of the way. And of course, it always helps to have really powerful tips in the back of your head when it comes to speaking in front of large audiences. So one of the things that I like to implement every single time I give a large presentation, even if it's a small mini workshop of just 10 people or an audience of thousands, and that is the 80-20 rule. What we tend to see a lot of are speakers who give stories about themselves and take up 80% of their time speaking just talking about themselves. That's not what people like, and that's not what they're going to connect to necessarily. It is important to implement a personal life experience, but the 80-20 rule means that you're speaking 80% in a way that relates and is general and gives advice and tips to your audience, and 20% is focused on telling your own personal story. So 20% should be on you, 80% should be on your audience rather than vice versa. And one of the other things that I implement all the time when it comes to giving public talks is the ability to stop and breathe. I personally talk 1,000,000 miles per hour in my everyday conversation. So that does tend to show up quite often when it comes to speaking in front of large audiences. So one of the things, and it's a really powerful technique that I like to remind myself whenever I'm giving a public speech, is to stop and breathe and be in my power. So what that means is even if I need to stop for the count of 4, what I'll literally do is stop and say, be in my power, before I continue to speak. So that pause allows you to also remind yourself to be in your power while taking an opportunity to stop and breathe. It's super powerful, and your audience will appreciate the fact that you're taking the time to slow down and relate and connect. Silence can be golden. Another thing that I really like to implement in my speeches is when I ask a question, I become an audience member. So if I'm asking who here in the audience likes strawberries, I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand with the audience because they are mirrors to me. The audience is literally going to do what you do as a speaker. So anytime you ask a question and you want the audience to respond in a positive way by raising their hand, make sure that you go ahead, raise your hand too, so that your audience knows what to do. Which brings me to my last and final tip, and this is probably the most powerful of all, and that is to always visualize your favorite public speaker while you're giving a talk. So let's just say your favorite speaker happens to be Oprah or Tony Robbins, or if you like to be fierce in front of audiences, you can picture Beyonce, or if you like to be political, President Obama. Whoever your favorite speaker or presenter is, when you are in front of an audience, if you can literally visualize yourself becoming that person, you will see something inside you begin to shift in the quality of your presentation. So there you have it, 4 really quick and easy and implementable tips that will absolutely change the vibe and expression and energy behind your talk. Hope you liked what you saw. Let me know if you've got any tips of your own. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below with some of the things that you do in your own speeches or when you're speaking in front of audiences or workshops or at work or in front of family members or friends. Share with me, and of course, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and subscribe for some more really awesome tips on public speaking and so much more. Love you. See you next time. Ciao.